Okay, in this video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to connect to LinuxGym on a Windows machine. It's pretty much the same for a Mac. The only difference is that we're going to use a program called Putty to SSH into the LinuxGym virtual machine, whereas on a Mac you will have this pre-installed, well, you'll have an SSH client pre-installed, so I'll talk about it when I get there basically. But first step is going to be to go to UTS Online and log into the Web Systems section. And in there on the left hand side you'll see a section called LinuxGym Server. So if we click on that, you'll get this wonderfully designed LinuxGym page, and we want to download LinuxGym Live. And then download that and save that to your desktop or something similar. And that will give us this zip folder here. So you need to extract that. And then once you extract that, you'll get a folder that contains all sorts of virtual machine stuff. Okay, so just keep that there. And you will also need to download VMware Player. It looks like it's telling you to buy it, but it's actually free. So you just hit the download now button and get VMware Player. And you'll also need Putty. So Putty is going to be our SSH client. As I mentioned before, on Mac you don't need this because you can just do this straight through the terminal. And I'll explain that a bit more once we get there. Okay, so once you have downloaded all of those different things and installed them, we're going to start by running the virtual machine. So let's open up VMware Player and open a virtual machine. And the virtual machine that we're going to open is going to be our LinuxGym virtual machine that we just downloaded, so it should be on your desktop where you extracted it, and then you'll get this VMX file which we will open. And then we can play the virtual machine. So this virtual machine is going to be your Linux playground, basically. So it's, just remind me later. It's going to be the place where you can do all of your exercises, and even though you're going to be doing, well, you can choose to do these exercises at home in your own time if you want, if you don't finish things in your tutorials. It will sync to the UTS system, so your progress will still be saved, no matter if you do this at uni or if you do it at home. Okay, so once you see this screen, this means the virtual machine has loaded up and we can start doing things. So to start using LinuxGym, type the IP address, blah, 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 into your web browser. So that's what we're going to do. So that IP address is 192.168.230.129. Cool. Okay, and you will now be taken to this login screen. So let me just resize this so we can see everything. Oh my god. Okay. Cool, so your login details for this are going to be, your username will be the first letter of your first name, followed by your last name. But it's limited to 8 characters, I believe. So although my last name is Pressland, in here it is Presslan. So L Pressland is my username. And your password will be your student number. Okay, so you're now logged in. You guys should only have ebook 4, I think. So we want to click on ebook 4 because it's basically like our textbook, I guess. That's the ebook that will have all of our questions that we're going to be doing this semester. And go to LinuxGym. Okay, so what we have now is we have the virtual machine open, and that's going to be our playground, and we have the ebook open, and that's going to tell us all the exercises that we have to complete. You can see here we have a list of chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll be going through these throughout the semester. and yeah, that's LinuxGym. I'll go into a bit more detail about how we actually complete questions a bit later. For now, I'm just going to get you guys set up. So now we need to actually SSH into this virtual machine. And the way that we do that on Windows is going to be with Putty. So if we open up Putty, we're going to type in that same IP address so that we can SSH into the virtual machine, 192.168.230.129. Cool. Alright, so this time the login details are going to be a bit different. So we're going to be logging in to the student account. So the virtual machine only has the one account, it's the student account, and this is the playground account. This is where we actually do all our exercises. So student, and your password will be your student number again. Cool, okay, now we're logged in. One thing to note is the order in which you log into these systems matters. So you need to start by opening the virtual machine, and then you log in via the browser, and then you SSH into the virtual machine. If you don't do it in that order, it won't work. Okay, so we are now SSH'd into the virtual machine. Now, if you're doing this on a Mac, the way that you will do this is by opening up the terminal. I'm on a Windows computer, so I don't quite have the exact same terminal thing that you do on a Mac, but I can open up a PowerShell window to give you the same idea. And instead of opening up Putty or anything, you will simply type SSH followed by the IP address, and then that will result in the same thing. I'm not going to show you, it's pretty simple. Okay, cool.